Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, and today I've got a very special opening indeed, because, that was weird, my play button game. My play button game. I'm so excited. I never actually expected to get one of these. Generally, so this is a play button I get sent from YouTube for hitting 100,000 subscribers. And generally, right, YouTubers fit into two camps. I'm just doing this for a bit of fun, I'm never going to get here. Or, well, I've already got a big following, I'm a known person, so I'm going to hit 100k, but it's not going to be that special. I am very much in the former camp, so now we can have a look. Oh, now I have, I've cut the tape in advance. So what have we got in here? We've got a lovely little piece of foam to protect it. Ooh, I'm giddy like a little child. Oh, we got the button in there, so we got a lovely little letter here, which I need to try and kind of read upside down. Now, oh, that's a printed signature. It is fancy paper, I'll tell you that. It's nice fancy paper. So, do you remember your first subscriber? I think I do, actually. Your 100th, your 1000th, chances are you do, and we know that you'll definitely remember your 100,000th subscriber. Your fans may have found you while searching YouTube, learned about you through a friend, or maybe you showed up as a recommendation video. No matter how they came to your channel, fans stayed and their numbers increased because of your unique voice and the excitement of being part of your growing community that you established. We are thrilled to see the development of your community and are proud to honour your impressive milestone of reaching 100,000 subscribers with the Silver Creator Award. Yay! We know that you have many more stories to share with your community, and we know that your fans can't wait for you to engage and amaze them even more with your commitment and creativity. So keep creating, keep building, we can't wait to see what you'll do next, and we're here to support you along the way. And who knows, when you reach your millionth subscriber, we may just write to you and ask, do you remember your 100,000th subscriber? Yours sincerely, Susan Wojcicki? That's probably terrible. Sorry, Susan, CEO of YouTube. And I'm not going to hit 1 million subs. Like, in the nicest way possible. I'm a positive dude. I'm an enthusiastic dude. I am one of those look on the bright side kind of people. I'm not hitting 1 million subs. And I know that because I've seen the stats on my channel. It is not terribly likely, but that's okay. 100,000 will do very, very nicely. And then we've got Society Awards, a little kind of note from them being like, hey, that's from Rick apparently. Yeah, Rick's inspected it. Cheers, Rick. Oh, and then that. Oh, and then we get the actual play button itself. This is exciting. This is like legitimately exciting. Oh, there we go. So what we've got here is a whole thing, and it's got like a full-on mirror where you can see my face if I can do that. So let's not do that very much. And it's all metally, and it's got all the presented to PTCGRadio for passing 100,000 subscribers. What happens if you only get exactly 100,000? You never get 100,001, and you've never passed 100,000. Does that mean you don't get this? Would like to know that. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, this is wonderful. This is, I mean, this was the dream, like, for a long... Right, that mirror, it's really inconvenient for how I do openings. Nobody needs to see that. Oh, this is beautiful. Do I just have to, like, hold my hand here the whole time so it doesn't just, like, give you a shot right under here? Because that's not an attractive look. But this is... Oh, this is beautiful. Like I say, this was not a milestone I ever realistically expected to hit. Like, obviously, there came a point where, you know, you hit 50, 60, 70,000, and there comes a point where you're like, well, maybe I will actually hit it, but for a very long time, it's just not a realistic goal. Like, in the nicest way possible, for a long time, you just don't think this is actually a realistic achievement. So then to actually have it happen is awesome. So I thought what we do is do a little bit of a quick Q&A. I threw it out over Twitter and on YouTube today. See what people were asking. So G Lamb says, congratulations, Wassy. Any tips for growing a channel? Yes. 3 tips. Same 3 tips I give to everybody every time they ask. Number 1, do it because you love it. Not because you want to get famous, because you're not going to. Almost certainly. And the chances of actually making it a career are so slim. I am aware I've had an awful lot of luck on my way to where I am now. And there's so many little things that if they'd happened slightly differently, I never would have got here. And obviously without all you guys watching, so you've got to love it. I saw a Pokemon channel at one point. Somebody went and posted in a thread on Facebook, and they basically said, hey, what tags can I use to help people find my videos? I've tried every tag I can think of and nothing's working. They'd made the channel a week earlier. Now, the way tags essentially work are, if you're a small channel, they're pointless. Because one of two things will be true. You're either using tags that no one else is using, so no one's searching for them, or you're using tags that people are using, so people are searching for them, and they're finding channels that are bigger than yours. Essentially, as a small channel, the only way to make tags work is to find searches that people are searching for and nobody other YouTuber is actually using, which is nigh on impossible. Tip number 2, so yeah, do it because you love it. That's the most important thing. Tip number 2, make videos you want to watch, because if you don't want to watch them, nobody else will want to watch them. And tip number 3, don't just make the same videos as everybody else. One of the most common questions I get about this channel is, why don't you do more gameplay deck videos? And the reason is very simple. There are amazing channels out there like Mahone's Tricky Gym, like Omnipoke, doing those videos and doing them brilliantly. So I have to ask the question, what am I bringing that they're not? And for those kind of videos, not much. Whereas there are other kind of videos where I really am bringing, I genuinely believe what everyone else isn't. And I think when it comes to news, I like to think I am number one. I'm bringing what other people aren't. That's what I'm really good at. That's where I'm providing that extra value. That's why I'm doing those kind of videos. At bear_koto over on Twitter asks, a question that I think of for most of my favourite content creators with families is, what was that transition and talk like with your significant other? I know for me, I'm too scared to fully leave the 9 to 5 yet. I know this is a personal question, so no pressure to answer. This was actually an easy one for me. And I worried for a long time. When am I going to get to the stage I can make this a career? How do I get there? At what point can I justify giving up my job and doing this full time? And after a while you start earning money doing this and then the calculations have to be made. And the thing is, if I was in my early 20s, I would have quit teaching years ago. I just chanced it because I could have lived somewhere cheap, it would have been fine. But as it is, I'm a grown-up. I'm in my mid-30s. I've got a wife and a mortgage. And as of 3 weeks ago, I have 3 children. The third one's very, very small. He's 3 weeks old. It's not his fault. He's only 3 weeks old. So I've got responsibilities. I cannot just quit my... I was a teacher. I had like a proper grown-up job. I cannot just quit that willy-nilly. But for me... it was one of the very, very, very few upsides of the pandemic, or the damn panic, as my daughter would call it. Because we hit October half term in 2020, October 2020, and YouTube was getting better and better, and schools closed. And I was teaching at the time, but I was a supply teacher, so because I was kind of doing half and half supply teaching, half content creation. But nobody needs a supply teacher when all the schools are closed. They need a couple teachers here and there, but they're going to be the regular teachers. So at that point, I just kind of went for it. And I started treating this as my job. And then when school started up again, I'd managed to grow myself to the point where I didn't need to go back. Otherwise, it would have been a much more difficult conversation. All I can tell you is, in terms of advice along these lines, it just comes down to how much you need to earn, how much you're earning. There is a bit of a safety net. My wages can fall and I can still support my family, and that is important. So, yeah, that's the best I can tell you. Mystic Bros, if you had to pick one spin-off game to base a full set on, like the upcoming Pokemon Go set, which one would you choose? They went with Pokemon Conquest. I would go with Pokemon Conquest. I have been on record as saying... that is, as far as I'm concerned, the best of the spin-off Pokemon games. I adore it. I want a remake. I want a sequel. I want that game as fast as humanly possible. So yeah, that one. Plus, I think it'll make a really cool set. Ultras R2, Pokemon and Minecraft. What's your favourite modern card based on playability, not looks? What does your binder look like? Well, my binder is a mess. Because I've got like a decade of random binders. I do have an old binder, I'll show it off one day, which is basically every Heart Gold Soul Silver card, which is amazing. Other than that, it's a mess. But my favourite card playability-wise is Excadrill. Like modern card. It has rotated now, but that Excadrill, both the attacks were good. I played it on its own and did well. I played it with Spiritomb and did well. I loved Excadrill from Cosmic Eclipse. That's my favourite modern one. I love it. Now, I've got a couple of very similar questions. Dan also asked, congrats. My question is, what made you start the channel and what keeps you going? And Wes Bragg says, what keeps the Aussie going? I mean, how do you keep the joy through all the craziness and toxicity we see in a hobby sometimes? And then congrats on all of that. So, what got me started? Well, I started as a podcast. I think I told this on the 100k video. I started because no one else was doing it. Like, literally, when I started my podcast, there was no such thing as a Pokemon TCG podcast. A bunch had started and then ended. There was no regular weekly Pokemon TCG podcast. It didn't exist. So I made it. And then from there, it was pretty natural to go into YouTube. What keeps me going? I just love it. Like, I genuinely adore it, genuinely have a passion for it. I think I'm the kind of person that should be doing this. Like, as an example, I went out with my kids on Saturday, went to a soft play area near us. Wanted lots of climbing and slides and all that good stuff. And I was running around with my 2-year-old son and my 3-year-old daughter having a lovely old time. And my wife was sitting with a 3-week-old just kind of chilling. And then at one point we swapped because I couldn't have all the fun. So I was sitting there at a table with my 3-week-old kid asleep, kind of bored, and my kids ran to a part of the park I couldn't see them, so I was literally just sitting there doing nothing. So I checked my phone. All of a sudden, there is news, a deck list for the next League Battle decks. The Calyrex ones are out. So, later on that day, not then, I'm out with my kids, we're having fun. But later on, we go home, we got a big busy day planned, both the kids have a nap. I've got 1 hour in the day of free time. 1 hour all day where I can actually do what I want to do. And I made a video about the deck list for the Calyrex League Battle decks. Because that's what I wanted to do. That's the kind of mentality I bring to this. That's what keeps me going. I love Pokemon the brand. I love the game. That is what keeps me going, frankly. That is what I love to do. So, as long as I'm like this, I'm never going to stop. It really is as simple as that. Ethan asks, what is your favourite deck ever to run? Besides Donphan? Fair question. Because I've been very clear on this channel, it's Donphan. It was a Flareon deck, the Flareon from Plasma Freeze. I played it at the European Challenge Cup in 2014, and I should have won the whole thing, and I know that sounds vain, but I lost to Tord Reklev in top 8. Tord later messaged me to ask why I'd attached a Silver Bangle to the wrong Pokemon, because I had him. And Tord literally messaged to say, you had me, why did you do that? The answer is, I'd had 2 hours sleep, and I was half asleep playing the game. Simple as that. Top 4 was a player I'd already beaten, and final would have been a player playing the same deck as Tord, and I'd beaten Tord in top 32, and like I say, I should have beaten him in top 8. And this was Flareon before Battle Compressor came out, because when Battle Compressor came out, Flareon was way better. And it was this weird Stage 1 deck with Flareon, Leafeon, Zoroark, Stunfisk, Drifblim, a whole bunch of different Pokemon, and essentially at the time there were 3 good decks. There was Plasma, Darkrai, and Blastoise. And they were really the only 3 good decks. And my deck smashed those 3 decks. It had horrible matchups against like everything else. But against those 3 decks, my deck crushed. And I had such a good tournament. It was so much fun to play. I kept sitting down opposite people who would look at my stupid deck and go, oh, I got this. But they didn't seem to realise that they didn't know my deck and I knew theirs. And there was a point when I'm like, mate, we're both at the top tables. You know I'm prepared for your deck. I know you're not prepared for mine. How are you so overly confident? In the final round of Swiss, I was going to ID, because both myself and my opponent were already guaranteed top 8. And my opponent went, oh, well, that's good, because I'm pretty sure I could beat you anyway. I've got a good matchup against you. And he didn't. He played Darkrai. I would have smashed him. At which point I was like, nah, let's not ID. Let's play this out. Because that was a slight, right? And then I got repaired and I paired against somebody else. Essentially, the tournament software messed up and I got paired against somebody who I should not have been paired against because our records were at the opposite end. Didn't matter. We both made top 8. Hey-ho. But yeah, Flareon. That deck. Tandem TCG. I don't know if you remember my tweet, but my dad and I always say good morning to each other, and with the way you say it, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I do remember that tweet. That tweet made me very happy. That knowing that I'm kind of part of a daily routine for people is so lovely, and I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Seriously, that stuff, I hear little stories like this every so often, and it always makes me super happy. What's been the defining moment in the history of the channel? It was when Ordino won the World Championships. Shintaro Ito won Worlds in 2016 with, with Ordino. And I made two videos, two very similar videos. How Ordino won the World Championships, and how Ordino almost won the World Championships. And I was fairly sure Shintaro Ito was going to win, and I tweeted out that he was going to win. If you dig back like 6 years, you can find the tweet. It is there. I called it. It's just a crazy, crazy good matchup. But, and at the time, I didn't realise I could upload two videos and just click publish on the right one. So I started uploading the winning one, assuming he was going to win, ready to delete it and upload the other one. I did not really know what I was doing at the time. But literally, Shintaro Ito won Worlds, and the second he won Worlds, I clicked publish on that video. So, the thing was, and this really, really helped me, it was a deck nobody saw coming. It wasn't a deck people were expecting. So not only did Ordino win Worlds, but then a whole bunch of people wanted to be like, well, what's this Ordino deck? How's it so good? And the second it won Worlds, my video was there explaining it for everybody. And that was the first video of mine that really hit, that really did well. And that is what started the growth of my channel. That is the moment where my channel had a chance, essentially. 2016 summer was when I started taking it seriously, doing regular uploads, finding a bit of a voice and all of that. But it was that video, that was the moment where my channel actually had a shot. So that really is a defining moment. And then 10 Types asks, what is your content going to look like going forward? And the answer is, I mean, it started off, well, when I started doing it properly, it started off as, I'm going to record people playing at tournaments and commentate over it. And that actually led me to my occasional gig commentating for the Pokémon company. No idea if I'll ever do it again, but I've done it a bunch in the past and it's awesome. So that was really good. I then went to largely card reveal videos. Now it's kind of news and analysis. At the moment, that's the plan. But I taught business for many years. Business and law were my subjects when I was teaching, plus a bit of maths towards the end. So I'm always looking. And essentially, if I can find better, more popular videos, I'll do them. Essentially, I'm not resting on my laurels. I'm always looking what I can do better, what I can improve, how I can do better videos. And if I can find better ideas, I'll do them. But honestly, moving forward, it's going to look like it has for the past couple of years because it's working. People are joining. Things are going well. Yay! So, yeah, that's it. That's enough questions for today. I'm so happy. This is so good because I genuinely never thought this was going to happen. This was not a realistic goal for years. Really, up until maybe 2018, 2019, this is a complete pipe dream. It was only really, oh goodness. Was it 20, years and so, was it 2018 or 2019? I was desperate to hit 50,000 by Christmas and I didn't make it. Didn't even get that close. And I was like, well, it's just not that kind of channel. And then it happened. And I'm never going to hit 1 million. So, and if I ever do, I'm using this clip in that video. So this is it. This is my play button, and I am delighted. Huge thank you and shout out to every one of you that's ever subscribed, watched the video, left a comment, etc. You guys are awesome, and you know the deal. Comment, like, subscribe. And if you're watching this and you've never commented on one of my videos, does this not seem like the kind of video to leave your first comment? Could be right. So yeah, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching. I'm super excited. PTCG Radio. Bye!